What's up, you beauties? How are we today? Welcome back to another episode of listening to my dumbass ramble on about God knows what topic for somewhere between 30 minutes and an hour. Exciting, huh? I really sell this.
Listen.
Enjoy what I look like right now. Like, really take it in and embrace it and enjoy it, because this time next week, I will be in England running a marathon. Actually, at this time, it's 2:48 on a Sunday right now, so it's 7:48 in London. I will be done by then, but I'm going to be in a lot of pain. We fly to London on Thursday. We're flying to London. Then we're there Friday, Saturday, Sunday until the 30th. But today in 1 week, in under a week, I will be running the London Marathon. And that is a terrifying realization. And it's funny. It's like, I've thought about it a couple of times, and I'm like, and I was just talking with Rania about it. It's like, I'm not necessarily worried about the marathon itself. It's the buildup to something like this that I'm like, shit. I'm like, this is going to be crazy. What's it going to feel like? Am I going to feel good? Am I going to feel bad? You know, but I think for me, I'm a very anticipatory person, where when I'm like waiting to go do something, that's the worst part. Like, even when I did that comedy show a couple weeks ago, it was like the waiting for the comedy show is where I start building up this like anxiety and all of this. But once I'm like actually there and up there and doing it, it's a whole different ball game. So the same sort of process goes with the marathon, because to me, I'm like, once I start running, I'll be, locked in. Realistic. I'm going to tell you a little cheat code to marathon running. And this is from someone who's only run a singular marathon, but it was the New York City Marathon, which is a damn difficult course. Now, that is a bitch of a course. But a real trick is you got to just dissociate. You have to literally just like mesmerize yourself. Hi, baby. What's up? You want to say hi to everybody? In here. Everybody say hi to my fiance, Rania.
Hey. Remember when one time I was a guest, you're chewing gum into the microphone?
Yeah.
There is no way.
Can you hear my gum? Can I give you my gum? Okay, here.
Can I close this?
This is love. Yeah, you can close it. Where she comes in to close the door because I'm being too loud. She comments on being a guest and then realizes that I'm chewing gum into the microphone. It looks gross when you hold it.
It's my special little...
I don't think they can hear you.
It's my new special trinket.
Trinket? You put it on a necklace? Oh my God, that would be disgusting. All right, I'll be done soon. That's my wife. But what the hell was I talking about? Oh yeah, you gotta just dissociate. You gotta somehow get your brain to forget that you're running, and then just like, it's the consistency. And you know what's funny? Like, when I ran the New York Marathon in like just under 5.5 hours, which was tough for me. It was very, very difficult. But I'm thinking about the time that I did the New York Marathon, and I was like, all right, I was taking my time. I was walking every now and again. I stopped to go to the bathroom whenever I needed to. I got water all the time. And like, I did that as like a protection mechanism because I didn't want to like overexert myself at all. But what they don't tell you about that New York Marathon is that when you stop to go to the bathroom, you're sitting in line for like 15 minutes to pee, right? And then, like, if you're like me and you're not like risking anything, and you're not one of those like hardcore athletes that's willing to like piss your pants just to like make a good time, I'm not at that point. I hope I'm never at that point. But like, when you're willing to just like, if your body says you got to pee, you go stand in line. Like, that adds on a lot of time. I feel like I could actually do a much better time on London if I just have like a consistent mellow pace and I just dissociate. I forget that I'm even running and I just go. Another thing about New York is that it's like the crowds for the New York Marathon are ridiculous. Like insanity. And of course they are. Like that's not surprising to anyone. But I was stupid because every time that I saw like a group of people or like some kids with their hands out or whatever, I would be like running up to them, high-fiving people, jumping around and all this. And I think that's part of the reason why my legs started hurting so much in the end of the race and all of this. It's like I kind of did myself a disservice by doing that instead of just like staying consistent. So the plan for London is I'm going to put my head down and I'm going to run. And I think that if I can get myself into a groove where I'm not distracted by a bunch of things and I'm just like kind of locked in and I just get into like a flow state, I think we could do a better time. So I'm going to see what's possible with that because I don't know. I am excited to just go there and do it, especially because we have a couple of days that we're going to be just like around London after. And you know, I want to be able to enjoy that. But I'm like, it's funny. We're planning stuff with like Ranya's family and all them. And it's like, in my mind, I'm like, once I finish this, then I can enjoy London. It's like this eerie, like back of the brain memory of like, you're not going to enjoy it right away. You actually have to do something first and then you get to enjoy it. So yeah, it's a weird process, but I like a mental challenge, right? Like, I enjoy the moment where you're like, I can't run anymore. And then your brain's like, you can run. Just go run. You know, and like the other day I did 20 miles and it was hotter than Satan's ballsack. Let me tell you. It was like, when I started the run, it was like probably 8 o'clock in the morning and it was like 70 degrees-ish, like 65, 70 degrees. And by the time that I was like at the half marathon point, it was like 82 degrees, a huge, huge lift in temperature. So that was a nightmare, but I looked at the weather. Oh my God. Can we talk about what the weather is going to be like in London? Wait one sec. Listen, this is a horrible podcast, but we get there on Thursday, right? Thursday. Mind you, London is known for rain, clouds, crappy weather. Listen to this. Friday, we get there in the morning, sunny and 63. Saturday, sunny and 64. Sunday, as if I wrote it myself, sunny, 56 degrees. A little cooler, perfect for running. Oh my God. Then Monday when we're there, partly cloudy, 54. Tuesday, partly cloudy, 60 degrees. Sorry, I burped. Partly cloudy, 60 degrees. I'm like, I couldn't write up a better situation for this marathon. So, I mean, listen, I know that in everyone, I know I can hear you at home being like, weather in London is very temperamental. Don't trust the weather app. I hear you. I hear you. But if the majority of people and meteorologists and scientists that decide this, if the majority of people say that it will probably be pretty okay, then I'll be okay with that. It would be another thing if they were expecting like Hurricane Katrina to hit just on Sunday, you know? So I'm taking it with a grain of salt. Don't worry. I'm taking it with a grain of salt. But no, I love a mental test, you know? And I think that this will be a good mental test because it's not my first marathon. It's not my first long run. I've done multiple 20+ mile runs and my toenails are falling off again. I didn't even run the second marathon and my toenails are falling off. And they had just finished growing back from the New York marathon. And now I run the 20 miler to get ready for London. And yeah, they're gone. Both big toes, dead. So now the toenail's just going to die. This is the life that I've for some, God knows what reason, chosen. But I will say, you guys should probably be prepared for this. If I do London and London is like not that bad, or I feel good that I finished London and I didn't get any like catastrophic injury or anything, I might do Berlin. I might have already asked the company I'm running with to let me into Berlin. I know. I know.
I know.
I know. I know. But here's one thing. I can't run the New York Marathon in 2026 because it is literally the day after my 30th birthday. And I'm not doing that to myself. Like, I want to have fun on my 30th birthday, and then I want to have to not run 26.2 miles after. But the Berlin Marathon is, wait one sec. You're gonna stay here with me. Berlin Marathon 2026 is on September 21st. That's money. That's actually money. Interesting though. Rania and I we have an engagement party that we're doing on the 18th or 19th, something like that. So it would probably have to be like engagement party, and then we immediately fly, which would be kind of crazy. I don't know. We'll figure it out. And then, okay, you know where this is going. And then, if I happen to get to do Berlin and I enjoy Berlin, I'd kind of like to do the Boston Marathon. Oh, I know. But listen, at this, like, I'm not going to lie. There are two sides of this, right? First off, I like that the company that I run with is raising money for like addiction and mental health services, because I've suffered with mental health struggles. I've had a lot of friends struggle with like severe addiction. I've had a lot of people in my close group deal with alcoholism. And I like the idea of helping people get help for those situations. But the second side of it is that it's like running. I know that marathon running can be like detrimental to your bones and joints and whatever, but like running in general, like the training that I've been doing is just so good for you. And I hate it so much. But if I have the incentive of like, I can travel somewhere and do the marathon there and then like spend time in this place, then it feels a little more worth it, you know? So it's like, if I have an incentive to do all of this running and keep myself in good shape, good heart health, whatever, it feels like a win-win, right? You know, like I think it feels a lot to me like a win-win. But listen, for all I know, we got to be realistic about this. For all I know, I go and do London next week and I feel awful the entire time. I'm in pain. I don't finish. I get sick, whatever. Like, if these things happen, I'm not going to like not look at it realistically, because like that's something you need to take seriously. But I'm gonna be real with you. Like the other day I did the 20 miles and I was in pain. I was hurting. Absolutely. I was dead tired. My feet were killing me, but I felt okay. So I'm like, if I go out and do London, I feel really good. I fear that I'm going to try to do every single marathon on the planet. So, yeah. And you guys will be able to come along for that. So you can watch me literally destroy my legs and back. But I'll have a good heart. That's a plus. And being, from Eastern Europe, not from, but having genealogy from Eastern Europe, heart health, it's kind of a pick and choose of your situation. You want to die of heart health or overeating? I don't know. I know that the running ultimately is better than not doing any exercise. But no, the marathons, I will say, they are a lot of fun. So, yeah. Yeah, so that's what's going on in my life. Other than that, what's going on in our life other than that? We've just been doing like little wedding planning. We sent out the engagement party invitations, stuff like this. We did Greek Easter, which was sick. I love Greek Easter. It was my third Greek Easter with the family. We went to the church on Friday night and on Saturday night. And they do this like hilarious thing, because I went to church with them at Holy Resurrection Church in Long Island. And it's this Greek Orthodox church, obviously. And they do this thing where on the first day, on Friday, they have this, there's a word for it, I just simply don't know it. They have like this table with a bunch of flowers on top of it, this beautiful arrangement of flowers. And the people from the church lift it up and they walk like around the block near the church. And then we, the congregation, I guess, like follow them with candles. And all you can think about the whole time is like, I didn't know that this was a thing that Greek Orthodox do at all. I had no idea. So if there's someone just driving along and they see this flower altar looking thing with a thousand little candles lit and people following, it probably looks pretty crazy to people. But when you know what's happening and you've done it a couple of times and you see how everything goes, it really is an absolutely beautiful thing. Like, I'm actually very, very excited to be baptized into the Greek Orthodox Church for that reason. I love the way that they do things, and I love the symbolism behind what they do. So, yeah. That's pretty much all that's going on with us. So, let's find out what's going on with you. I got a burp. Almost threw up. All right, we're back. Okay. We're going to start with some good news and advice from Michaela. Did you say not to say your name? No, from Michaela. Michaela, hello. Hi, Mr. J. I'm 15 and I'm from Ireland. Global. That's another place I want to go back. I went to Dublin for like a layover, and we had a really long layover. We went to Dublin. They apparently love Bostonians, and I told them I was from Boston, so they started buying me a bunch of alcohol. Don't ask me about the rest of the day because I couldn't tell you. Yes, when you do the global dancing classroom horror stories, I sometimes do it too. Don't give me sometimes, Michaela. Do the damn global dance, because if I'm doing it, you should be doing it too. I'm in my 3rd year of secondary school, and I have no clue what that is for you, but I'm doing my junior certs this year, and I had my junior cert partial for home ec yesterday. That probably means something. Congratulations, though. It sounds like you're doing like the tests to be graduating to different levels of something. Whatever. You're great. I'm happy with you. This is my 10th time writing in. Damn, you're a baller. This is my 10th time writing in hopes of you seeing this. I'd like to apologize in advance for the length. Stop apologizing. And the length of this and the mistakes you're about to see, but you ban that, and always here's some good news. Yes, we are not allowed to apologize for writing for longer, or talking about our mental health. No more apologizing for that, okay? Here's the good news. First, I've officially been attempt-free for a month. Michaela, that's beautiful. I've been 3 days SH-free, and yeah, I know it's not much, but yeah, before I ask, I want you to say you're my hero. I remember an episode on Classroom Horror Stories where you said, if I'm anyone's heroes, we're screwed. Well, you're my hero and the reason I'm still here right now, and you get me through the worst times. You're an amazing person. I hope you know that. God damn, Michaela. It is a Sunday. God damn. Okay. That's something. I'm going to be thinking about that for about a year. First and foremost, I'm so proud of you for being attempt-free, SH-free, all of that. You're doing amazing work. Keep doing it. Keep doing it, because your body's going to keep being happy to see you treating it like this, and you're going to get it back in tenfold. I promise you that. Here's my advice. My year head, the person who must be in charge of your class, knows I've been struggling with SH, and I talked to him about it. Been struggling with SH, and I've talked to him about it. However, I told him today that my friends have been saying I might have autism. My year head told me to move on from it. I mean, autism, you can get tested for it. Well, I don't know why he's like brushing it off like it was a joke. Maybe he thought your friends were joking. My friends said it to me, and even their parents have said it to them too. Anyways, I feel like I annoy my year head. I hate feeling like that. Bear in mind, I did ask my other friends for their opinion, and one said I might have ADHD. I don't know what to do because my mom won't let me get diagnosed, or won't get you diagnosed. I don't know what to do, and I said to my year head, he said just forget about it. I don't think that this guy, this year head, this adult that helps your class, I don't think he's the guy to talk to about things. And I know that he's probably supposed to be, but sometimes people just get handed these positions and they're like not made for them, because him saying just like forget about it every time you talk to him, that's just not someone who really cares about your well-being. So I don't know. I don't like the way that he just like dismisses everything. Let me see. I've been struggling with my mental health for 5 years now. I've been getting bullied for 2 of them. In PE today, I told my year head he wants me. In PE today, I was told by my year head, so you were in gym class and this same year head said he wants you to do physical education again. I haven't been doing it because of the SH issues. I tried to, but I got put on a team with people who bullied me, and I flinched every time the ball came near me. I couldn't move. I felt frozen in place. Okay. I mean, I think the thing is that there are going to be a lot of adults that you could talk to about these things, but there's typically one or two adults that'll actually do something about these things. Because what it sounds like is you need someone who's a little bit of higher rank in the school who you can sit down and have this conversation with and explain that, like, if minor things were changed, then you could have a better time of just acclimating back to it. Because I think this experience that you're having in gym class is like, it's not something that's going to last forever. It's just something that is like an exposure therapy, but you're getting thrown to the sharks instead of sort of like easing your way into it, right? So I don't know. I think you should either try to work with a counselor instead of a yearhead. And I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not sure if there's a significant difference, but I think that a counselor or someone who's trained in like mental health services would be much more helpful than these people, because your yearhead clearly does not care. Obviously, if you can't talk to your PE teacher and have that person be on the same page as you and make a change, then I think you should go either like a rank up and try to talk to someone in the school who is higher authority and see if they can make a change for you. But if not, I think discussing with a counselor would help you have more of a therapeutic way of looking at it, because this is obviously like a set of adults who just don't really care, and that sucks. That really sucks. But I'm like, I think you just need to be real with this person and say that, like, you want to try to get back into the swing of all these things, but in order to do that, it needs to be a gradual process, right? You can't just get thrown to the wolves. So I would say you'd probably be best off to stop relying on this yearhead, even though it is their job. I'm aware of that. It is their job. They're just not doing it. Okay. And you can't force an adult to do something, especially as a student. It's like, it's so stupid to imagine that that's like a problem that kids deal with, is like a school employee that doesn't want to do school employee jobs. That's just stupid. But listen, Michaela, you're going to be okay. All right. It's going to get better as time goes on. What's good? Here's another thing to consider. Naturally, as a human being, these things are going to get easier. Regardless of it all, as time goes on and your brain develops more and you become a little bit older and your body starts, managing the chemicals as much as it can, you're going to find that these things just get a little bit easier and easier. Okay. But also, I think that your awareness of wanting to feel better and do better and get back into these things is huge, right? So you're obviously way, way ahead of the curve, but it's going to get better. I think definitely if your parents are involved in all of this or involved in your life, I would try to bring them into it, because sometimes you just need an adult to set an adult straight. There were a lot of times where like a parent would have to get brought in because a teacher just wasn't doing anything. And a parent will, they'll rip into a teacher, and a teacher's not going to sit there and just not do anything. It's their job at stake. So keep me posted. But ultimately, you having all of these major successes with like your mental health and not doing the SH route and all of this and no attempts, like that's a huge step forward, and you should be beyond proud of yourself. Start there. We'll move on from there. All right. This next one is from Samantha, and this says advice on family. Okay. My name is S. All right, S, welcome to the chat. I'm not going to say your whole name, obviously. Hi, Mr. J, and possibly whatever guest there is. There isn't one. Boo might slip in. Rania was here a minute ago, so we'll see. First, I have some good news. I recently secured my second year on my college's ASL club board and got the position I've been dreaming of since high school. That's sick. Congratulations. I'm so excited and looking forward to the experience. My name is S. And I need advice on relationships with my family. I want to start off by saying I know my family loves me and we're all close and it's great, but I feel like my connection to them is lacking. This might be a me thing, so please let me know if it is. I'll let you know. Lately, I don't really know how long. I've noticed that I don't exactly have a connection with my family. Like I know they love me, but it's like I'm just with people I happen to live with. How old did you say you were? You've been dreaming of it since high school. You're in college now, I think. Let's see. I feel like they aren't as excited for my accomplishments and things I'm excited about as they are with my sister, who could be a matter of people showing excitement. This could be a matter of people showing excitement differently, but I don't know. I want to think the best of them, which is a good thing to do. Let me see. It's kind of gone to a point where I don't tell them about stuff I'm excited for, looking forward to, because I feel like if I say too much, my things won't be as meaningful. But it's felt more comfortable to just not say anything unless I have to. Also, sometimes I get more irritated now when my family asks me questions about what I'm doing or how my day in school/life was, thinking, why do they care so much? Okay. All right, let's finish this up and then we'll bounce into it. I want to fix this for myself. I see everyone else being so close and loving, and I want to feel that too. But I feel like everything feels so deep and I just can't. I want an unbiased opinion of someone who doesn't know me. I would greatly appreciate if you answer this on your podcast. Any episode is fine. I hope this doesn't make me look like a bad person. No. That's why I've been hesitant about talking about it, but I know I probably need some help with this. The main point is that I want advice for how I can be more comfortable with putting myself out there with them and not thinking I'm too much for them, not important enough, and being comfortable with existing and taking up space in life. I mean, you're very well spoken, and that's something most people can't say. I hope this made sense and doesn't make me look insane. It doesn't. P.S. You're one of my favorite content creators. Thank you for the podcast and the lovey-dovey classroom horror stories. They're my favorite. I don't know how you like that. Okay. Let's get real, right? I am not the most unaware of what it feels like to go through something similar to this. It's probably at a different rate. It's probably at a different level of severity, but I'm not completely unbeknownst. It's not like unbeknownst to me what it feels like to have this dynamic with your family where it's like when you have siblings and those siblings are just different than you, right? They act differently, they behave differently, they go to different jobs, they do differently in school. It's hard to not consider, like, am I the runt and that's the good kid? And I think that the way that parents talk about siblings is not discussed enough. And I think that especially, like, if you're in college right now, you're in your 20s, you're 18, 19, 20, 21. So you're in like your late teens, early 20s. And this is typically the time where this level of insecurity will become the greatest for you. Like, it's not on purpose, but your brain will be the most insecure about your choices and whether or not you're actually successful, because now you're at like this real life point where you're in college and you need to kind of like figure out what you're doing. So if you're not getting that shout out from your parents, you feel like you're just wasting your time. But that doesn't mean you are. That's what I want to like really lean into, is that just because your parents aren't giving you the flowers for all of your accomplishments, it doesn't mean that they aren't accomplishments. So let me start there with you. Like, everything you're doing is incredible and you should be beyond proud of yourself, right? But I think that your struggle right now is less of your relationship with your family and it's more your relationship with the opinions of others, right? And I have dealt with this more than you would understand. You probably would understand, but like I've dealt with this too, where I value the opinions of the people around me and my parents and my brother and my fiance and all my friends. I value their opinion greatly, right? So if I thought that I did something that might have negatively affected a friend, it'll sit in my chest all day long until I talk about it. If I do anything that I thought might have hurt Ranya's feelings, I will not be able to live with myself until I fix it. So with all of my actions, you know, I always try to make this point of like doing the right thing. For you, it's difficult because I think that what you're missing is you probably have a group of friends, right? I think that what you need is someone who's not so close, right? someone who you're not living with, that you haven't known since you were a sperm cell, right? Like, I think sometimes it's important to have people around that aren't that blood relation, because sometimes family will be the first to not act like family. And that sucks. But like, if you know that sometimes your family will be the ones that act the least like family should, then you can keep your expectations a little bit more monitored. Everyone would love for their parents to be like, you are an amazing individual. You're excelling. We're so proud of you. Any human being would love to hear that. But sometimes when you hear all of this motivation and excitement from like a best friend, a significant other, a close colleague, whatever, sometimes it feels even better because this isn't someone that you think needs to be telling you these good things. Family, you're expecting something positive. You're expecting like a little bit of like, hey, great job. You're my flesh and blood. I want to tell you that you did a good job. But when you're talking to someone who's just like a friend, like for instance, my friend Brian, he will hype me up for everything that I do. That's not my blood, but he is one of my groomsmen. He's one of my best friends. Like, hearing it from him, it means that he saw what someone who was at one point a stranger is doing, and he wants to hype that up. And it means, strangely enough, almost more to me than it would if my parents were like, great job. Because in the back of my mind, I'm like, yeah, you should be saying that, But I think so that was a long-winded way of saying, I don't think it's a you thing only, okay? I would say it is about 80% a you thing and 20% no, that's not even fair. I'm going to call it a 40% you thing and 50% your parents' behavior thing. 60%, 40 and 60. 40% you, 60% your parents. And I think that the best way to adjust and pivot from this would be to stop searching for that satisfactory response from your parents and just, be proud of yourself too. Sometimes you need to hear yourself. Sometimes you need to look in the mirror and be like, you crushed that shit. You did amazing, And just hearing that from yourself, even if it might feel silly, it means a lot. You spend every single waking moment with you in this brain. And if you can say like, that was difficult, but I did it, you're hearing it. And that's important. And you're developing a closeness with yourself. And it teaches you to care a little bit less about the thoughts and opinions of the outside world. And if you can train yourself to not really give a shit what the outside world says, but to be excited if something pops up and someone out there is proud of you, then you're untouchable. So that's what I would try to lean towards. I would try to lean towards developing a community of people who are not family so that you don't compare yourself as much. And I would try to strengthen the bond you have with yourself. I think that is your number one strong case right now. But ultimately, like, keep in mind, you're in your early 20s. You also, I know you don't feel young, right? Because you've done high school. You think high school is when you're about to become an adult. Then you've done college, or now you're in college, and you think that college is like that step from child to adult. And God damn it. Well, my camera died. But what I was saying before was that it's like you've gone through all these steps, like high school, then college, where you feel more and more like you should be an adult. And I think that your level of awareness is very much similar to that of an adult. But you also got to keep in mind, you are still incredibly young. You're 20. I'm about to turn 30. And I can tell you that from age 20 to age 30, you really do become a different version of yourself. One that you can't even consider what you might be like. It's like it's such a drastic change. And it's all, if you keep your relationship with yourself as close as you should, you're going to become such a better, happier, less uncertain version of yourself. And you're going to look back and think like, I can't believe that I thought that this was the rest of my life, right? And that's just coming from my experience, but I've heard it from a lot of other people too. So I will say that like all of these things you're experiencing it in the sort of in like the version of you are right now. But soon you're going to experience it in a very new version. And then in 10 years, you're going to experience it in a completely different version. And all of these relational situations and insecurities about, other people's opinions, it's going to become less and less of something that you consider. Okay? You're going to be okay. I promise you that. You are 100% going to be okay. And so won't every person that's watching this. You're all going to be perfectly fine. Please understand that if we can get through one thing, we can get through all of them. Okay? So I got your back. Don't stress that. I'm going to need your back. Or I'm going to need you to have my back. Whatever. This time next week, I'm going to be running the London Marathon. So on the next podcast, you will more than likely... So I'm going to have to figure out what the deal is with the podcast because I'm going to be in London, obviously, the day after the marathon. So I might have to get creative on how I'm going to get you the podcast, but we're going to try to do that. So wish me luck. If you're willing to donate to my fundraiser for the company that I'm running for, it's Release Recovery Foundation. They do mental health and addiction services to people who can't afford it. I'm going to put the link to that donation page in the bio. Anything counts. Thank you for anything that you can do there. But yeah, no, I'm excited to take on this challenge, and I hope that to the people who wrote in, same deal. You're going through some shit that's difficult. Let's just be excited to deal with it head on and be done with it. And then for anyone sitting at home, every single person watching this has something that they are, putting off or don't look forward to doing or are scared of doing. Let's change our brains and say like, all right, screw it. I'm excited to get this done with. I'm excited to get this over with. I'm excited to be on the other side of this challenge. And I'm going to do it with you. So when I'm on the other side of this challenge, barring a ridiculous injury, I will see you all very soon. Be good to yourselves. Be good to everybody around you. And yeah, no, I'll see you then. All right? Have a good week. Bye.